I'm not sure why I've gotten so much of an interest in statistics lately, but more or less last year I've conducted research on what schools people chose when they started out in Wizard 101. At the time, I used very primitive methods, hunter-gatherer of sorts, which was to stand around in one place or one area and see who walks through a door. It was as if I was waiting for my long-lost soulmate. But I did that very patiently for half an hour each day for a week. And to make sure the results were not biased in any way, I asked my friend to do it too. Except I didn't make her do it for 30 minutes. I made her do it for 10 minutes instead. I understand the idea of having friends, but you don't want to overexert that notion to where you have no friends at all. A couple months back, KingsIsle introduced a revolutionary new mechanic to Wizard 101, which serves as a boon to marketers. To players, I don't really see much of a point. It's called the social friendship something security. I don't know. Let me look. Okay, so it's none of that. It's just social, I guess. Anyways, what it basically allows you to do is track down people like you're some sort of private eye or detective. You can go through their entire autobiography from school to name, level, and even quest. You can also have adventure parties, which is supposed to represent guilds, I think. I honestly have no idea, but personally I just use this feature to port to players in the marketplace or bazaar to sell stuff. So going back to what I was saying last year, we only saw new players and what schools they chose. For this video, I want to answer two questions. Was there any change in school popularity, and what schools remained the least and most popular for top and middle level players? Basically, what I did was use this feature and went through all the worlds in Wizard 101, and I recorded every single player into this neat little spreadsheet. Don't worry, this time there's no math involved, unless you're seeing it through the matrix for some reason. I separated them into 3 different arcs. Arc 1 is from level 1 to 50, Arc 2 is from 51 to 100, and Arc 3 is from 101 to 150. The first chart we have here is when I ran this test during the afternoon. The most popular was Fire, a close second was Death, Storm following suit, and then we have the Losers Club, without any middles. To use a lack of a better phrase, I'm in this, and I don't like it. Myth is pretty much dead last, while Balance and Ice are tied with each other. Taking a look at the other chart for peak hours, we saw Death come out on top. I guess depression hits after 5 p.m. for some people. Storm and Fire were really close. This time, Myth is no longer dead last. That spot belongs to Balance. Totaling everything up from the non-peak to the peak hours, it was pretty clear that Death was the winner here, with 205 people. And what's more interesting though is Myth and Balance are tied for last, or least popular school. However, I felt as though 2 wasn't enough, so I had to do it a 3rd time. 1,000 people was probably more than enough. So on the day of making this video and putting everything together, I ran another test. After going through 1,455 players, we have in first place the undisputed champ, the notable, the unkillable, Death. 3rd was Storm, 4th was Life, 5th Ice, 6th Balance, and in dead last, no one's surprised probably, Myth. For the visual observers or people with ADHD, I made these 2 charts to symbolize the popularity. I didn't change anything from the charts, like I was cheating on an exam or anything. You can compare it if you want. It's easy on the eyes, not the brain. Now what I did was somewhat unorthodox because I ran these tests 2 times, one during non-peak hours and the other during regular hours in the afternoon. Then I combined the 2 into a single total. It's not 100% representative of Wizard 101's player base. If you want to get the real numbers, then talk to the KingsIsle staff. They probably won't disclose it to you though. I could have ran this more than 3 times because I wanted more accurate results, but then I remembered the definition of insanity. As we all know, it's doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. 3 it was. This took me a total of 3 hours. Lastly, I want to go on the record and say I in no way tampered with this. Some of the numbers could have been inaccurate due to human errors like counting. I had a pretty hard time keeping track of everything because some worlds had high-level wizards, and I'd overlook that by putting them into one column instead of the other 2. Another factor would have been the timing of everything. Not everybody plays at the same time, like eating a Krabby Patty at 3 a.m. However, what this does do for us is give us some insight on generally what is considered the most popular and least popular school in Wizard 101. Anyways, in your opinion, what do you think is the least popular or most popular school in Wizard 101? Or if you don't play Wizard 101, what are you doing here? On a more serious note though, what school would you like to play? Other than that, subscribing is just a click away. I hope you all take care, and I'll see you guys.